And so it begins the month of November. And what I want to do is I want to start off with crypto bubbles here because I see so many people in this space go through emotional trauma, an emotional roller coaster up and down because of the fluctuation of many of the prices on projects in the cryptocurrency space. But as we zoom out, and we get away from those day-to-day distractions, those week-to-week distractions, and we zoom out and look at this market from a yearly view, people, we are in good shape. Look at Bitcoin, 56% up for the year. Ethereum, these guys, both of them are running neck and neck. Okay, if you're into both of these, you're still in green. BNB, 89%. Look at this monster here, XRP, close to 400% up for the year. Again, sometimes we have to zoom out. All right. And if you look at the top 20, all right, if we look at the top 20, we only have one project in the top 20, which is Avalanche, that is not in green for the year. This is why we have to calm down. This is why we have to just have a relaxed view to what's going on. And things are only going to get higher. All right. If you look at XLM, XLM is up 230% for the year. HBAR up 332% for the year. All right. So, guys, the markets are very, very healthy. We have to continue to just be vigilant, keep up with all of the movements. And if we look at all the movements that are happening with some of these projects behind the scene, we see that growth, innovation, institutions are moving into this space and mobilizing over here, setting us up for the next level up. Okay, so things are looking really good. Now, I did want to touch on something. I saw a post on X by Paul Barron, a guy that I follow. I watch a lot of his stuff, and he was talking about some of these banks getting into stable coins, but they want to create these stable coins where their stable coins operate in their own ecosystem. So you have big banks. Here's the setup. You have big banks like JP Morgan, Bank of America, Citi, Wells Fargo, and a number of European banks that are building their own private stablecoins. But they each want a closed ecosystem where the money is moving, but it's only moving within their network. Okay, so that means that, the JP Morgan stablecoin is only going to easily move with anyone connected with JP Morgan. So instead of it being open and floating, they're creating inclusive clubs, let's sort of speak, or digital silos where you have to stay within those corridors. Same thing, going on with Swift, a little different. They're acting as a bridge, saying they're going to connect these systems neutrally, but these institutions, these banks, they don't want neutralness. They don't want to share power. They want control. They want to control the liquidity. They want to control the settlement. They want to control the compliance. And what's interesting that we're seeing with these moves is we're starting to see the ingredients and the pedigree within some of these institutions. So the real problem is really everything is going to be fragmented because you're going to have all these banksters launch their own what? Stable coins, but they're going to wall themselves off from being able to interact and communicate with each other. But this is where the XRP angle comes in, okay? Because XRP and Ripple on Demand liquidity system, this is where this becomes relevant because XRP's whole purpose is to be that neutral bridge asset between incompatible networks. So it doesn't belong to one bank. It doesn't belong to one part of the world, one region, or one government. It's neutral liquidity that can move value between a JP Morgan coin and, let's just say, a Bank of America coin, and then over to, let's say, a European stable coin, all seamless. And that's why I found that whole post by Paul Barron was interesting, because now we see the amplified power of Ripple XRP and the XRP ledger. So this is bullish news for XRP. And I believe that Brad and the crew, Brad and the boys, okay, and that includes Monica Long, that's my girl too. But Brad and the crew, they have been planning this. And this is one of the reasons why I have the utmost respect for the management team at Ripple, is because they put a vision in place years ago, and now we're starting to see it play out. Through the entire lawsuit, this group was working abroad, setting up their system based on their vision, and now we're starting to see that faucet open up more and more. And we're also starting to see how these guys really have been playing the game. So I'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop it in the comments. Let me know what you're thinking. Definitely subscribe to this channel. Love and respect. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video.